So anyways, that's great. That's great. What do you do, by the way?
I'm an associate creative director here and I'm based in Hyderabad. So I work for
Okay.
this company. I wouldn't like to share the name of the company here, but
Oh, no worries. No worries.
so basically I'm a copywriter. I've been writing copy for about 5-6 years now, and
Wow.
I'm also a graphic designer basically. So I got the promotion because I learned graphic design, and then if you've seen my Instagram, I sort of got into art. Well, my whole logic was like you need to understand art to understand design. So I learned
Yeah,
art, then
true.
I learned
True.
design. So that really helped me. So when I was setting up my store. Oh shit, sorry. So by the way, I'm really grateful for your time, man. Thank you so much for taking the time out for this. Sorry, I just
No
pulled it in.
worries, man.
Yes.
No worries, man.
So I basically the whole purpose of this call was I noticed. So I'm also a trainer, so I teach a lot of people how to write copy. So I noticed that the kind of mistakes my students make is the same mistake that I started making here. That you get into
Mm-hmm.
this endless loop. Like for example, if you're setting up your store, you
Mm-hmm.
have to do it with a Gmail account because you can't create a pro account. You need that line of code for the G Suite thing to put it in your website. Then Google recognizes that you have a website. Then it gives you your own professional email. So basically, you start with a Gmail, and then later you get a pro email. Then you switch back to that pro, and then now you have 2-3 emails to keep track of, and all these things. So I kind of thought. So I made a list of questions. So
Okay.
when we spoke, so I made a list of few questions. So I thought that would give a nice flow to this interview or discussion.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. You should have questions like whatever. When I got started, I was struggling a lot. A lot
Yes.
means a lot. Like I wasn't even like understanding. I understood what this business is all about. I understood what is drop shipping and everything. But the thing is, having a setup that runs properly, having a system that runs properly takes time. It doesn't
Yes.
like it cannot happen like I can create a website within 30 minutes. I can do that. But
Wow.
will it be effective? If
Absolutely.
no, it wouldn't be effective. Like
Oh yeah, yeah. Sorry.
if I take at least one day to create one website, that means I'm giving much more value to that particular product that I want. I'm just sculpting that
Yes.
model.
Yes. Yes.
Instead of just if I do it 30 minutes, it will be a simple website where I can make money. But the thing is, people won't be feeling that as a trustable brand. I would have to spend like $10,000 in order to make even $1,000 from that.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
that is the most common problem that I feel what people are seeing right now. They don't focus on building a brand. I usually go for building brand. It might take 1 week, 1 month, whatever time it takes. You have to focus on building a brand.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I completely agree with you. I
Okay.
just adding to what you said. So I've done a lot of copywriting courses, but then I've also noticed. So this might help the audience as well. So if I don't know if you're familiar, but there's this company called Mech Labs.
Yeah.
So yes, so I've done a lot of optimization courses from them as well, and so I thought I'd share that as well. I noticed that. Can you see my desktop? Let me just share my desktop. So this
Okay.
is. So the way I learned copywriting is the old-fashioned way. So I downloaded all of Gary Halbert's letters.
I
Then
was
I
going to say that.
yeah, and then I sort of there's a long story behind it. So what I did was I copy pasted all of them into Word. Then I made
Okay.
all of them the same font. And then I don't know if I'll just share my laptop with you. So this is my setup, right? So these are my books, and
Wow.
you can see these files. Right? These orange ones are the Gary Halbert letters. So and
Wow.
then I have these other books as well. So these are all my books. I keep studying them. I have printed them, all this stuff. So I'm not showing off. I'm just telling people that if you're really really hungry about something, um, you will find a way. So I'm actually a mechanical engineer. So my dad is a mechanical engineer, and I used to be a salesman. I used to sell heavy machinery. So I was in that for 3 years,
Okay.
and then I went to London. I did my MBA there, and then I sort of realized that okay, I want to do something on my own, but I don't know what to do. So I came back again, became a salesman, and then somehow fate landed me this copywriting gig. So I thought, okay, ठीक है, I just wanted a foot through the door. So I was like,
True.
ठीक, I'll figure it out. So I was writing for the longest time, but I've realized that just because you write like Shakespeare or you're a poet doesn't mean you're a copywriter. You need to know how to sell. So I spent 4 years figuring that out, and I sort of I really got into Gary Halbert letters. Then I got into the McLabs thing. I got into Copybloggers program. Then I purchased Gary Bensivenger's $5,000 copywriting program. I've been doing all those things, and so I'm just sharing all these because a lot of people here might be interested, and they think that So the reason why I really got into dropshipping, I knew about it for a year or so, but then I realized after a while कि if you know Joseph Sugarman, if you know Gary Halbert, all these direct response copywriters, dropshipping is like the digital analog of that today. And I really wanted to be like that. I wanted to be like those guys, because those guys are conversion copywriters. They sell, they just sell. That's how it works for them. They don't get awards. They don't write fancy taglines or whatever. They sell. That's how they know. And nobody knows them, right? Like you and I might know Alex Becker. You and I might know all these dropshippers. You and I might know each other, but normal people don't. These guys sell and they're happy in their condos or whatever. And even that, they don't do it for that money. They do it for that's a byproduct, right? The money, the fame or whatever is just a byproduct. What gets them through is that love for what they believe in. So and they hustle, right? And they just keep doing it. Ultimately, they just end up at point B, right? So I just wanted to share that. So I hope just in case if anyone's looking for a really good primer on copywriting. So Gary Halbert has his letter called Hands-on Experience.
Hands-on experience. Yep.
Yes. So if the audience is listening, I think that'll really help them. So he shares 5 or 6 really nice ads. And there's this other website called swiped.co, swiped.co, where you can get all these direct mail letters for copying and writing out. So that's what Gary Halbert says. So you go there, you read all those letters, or the ones that he suggests, you write them out 5 times. I've done all of Gary Halbert's letters for the past 2-3 years. That's all I've been doing. I have all my books around. I don't want to show off, but all these, those diaries I get, and then I keep filling them up, and that's really helped me. Yes,
no props. I actually saw one Instagram meme where there was different stages of life. Mm-hmm. The meme was suggesting that when people have a lot of money, someone standing on a lot of money will not get the proper view through the window. Let's say the window was in a height of, let's say my height. Let's say it was here. If someone's standing on a bunch of money, he would be standing above that. He won't get a proper view in this area. But if someone is having a hell lot of knowledge, he's standing here. He's standing on his knowledge. He won't be able to see that. He's above that.
Yes.
But if someone has money and knowledge at the same level, if he's standing here, he would get a proper view from the window.
Fantastic.
So that is what you are doing. That is what I feel everyone should be doing. People always go for money. People always chase money. I can understand. I also struggled a lot. Even I'm struggling. I haven't even achieved what I thought I would have achieved within this 1 year. So it's something that helps people get out of their bed every single morning. You have to be hungry, like you said. You have to be hungry in order to attain whatever you want. But don't just chase money. What I would suggest, people always chase for money. People always go for money. I feel that you don't chase money. You go for knowledge first. Absolutely. You attain that section. You attain that level, whatever you want to achieve in that knowledge level. Then you are using your knowledge to make money. That is Absolutely. A big thing. That is a big thing. People misguide everyone. Whoever, you have seen Alex Becker, you have seen Chris Record, everyone, those guys are millionaires right now. But what I can guarantee you that they're using the bling stuff.
Absolutely.
They're showing off their resort, they're showing off their Lamborghinis. People always go for those shiny object syndrome. Absolutely. And they think that dropshipping or any internet marketing is with a snap, I can make $1,000. With a snap, I can make $100,000. That's not true. That's totally not true. It is possible if you hustle hard with the knowledge that you have here, you can make millions of dollars. I can guarantee that.
Absolutely. I just wanted to add, so I have these I think this company is called, I forgot, sorry. Let me just share this with you. So this is my paperclip. You get these books, right? So I have this is my yellow book. The yellow one is for quotes. So I get, one thing I wanted to share is that when you're like, so I had, there's this common saying that says that empty vessels make the most noise. And I think that's completely true, because I met a lot of people, like you, for example, who, the more they learn, the more modest and humble you get, right? And then there's this saying that the more you know you don't know. And and what happens is, I've noticed this. Okay, so when I got my last promotion, when I got this job, so my boss was like, how do you feel? And I told him, and he was very surprised. All three of my bosses were there, and I said, sir, I feel very lonely. And he says, why? And I said, sir, I come to office and I do my work, and then 4-5 hours I'm studying. I don't go anywhere. I don't meet anyone. I just say hi. I'm just studying, and people like think I'm some outcast or some sociopath or whatever. They think, why is this guy like this? He doesn't hang out with anyone or whatever. And I think that's the price you pay for success. The late nights. So I have my commitments. I have to take care of my family. I have whatever. But my friends now, my true friends, they know that, okay, this guy wants to get somewhere, right? And so he won't go to parties. He won't come to get-togethers. But except, when they need me, I'm there. But apart from that, I'm just studying and reading and watching YouTube videos and having these nice interviews. So that's the price you pay, right? So a lot of the guys here, they think that when you get to the top, it'll be super awesome. You'll be rich. You'll be famous. It's the exact opposite. It's very lonely. You struggle. Like I'm so happy I found you. I'm so happy that I'm talking to you. I feel like there's someone who understands what I'm saying. Yeah, truly, and it's very rare that you find people like that. So it's like that. The higher up you go, the lesser people are there. So yeah, that's how it happens.
That's life.
Exactly. And there's this really nice this quote that I really wanted to share with you. This is Gary Halbert's quote. So he says that success has 1,000 fathers, but failure is an orphan. So he says that I don't know what you could sort of take. And one more thing is that I've always taken these risks. So there are people around me who are like, why do you want to spend 1,000 for a Udemy course? And I'm here spending $5,000 on a course that was launched in the 1970s by Gary Vaynerchuk, right? And I don't even tell them, because I know the moment I tell them, they're like, "Arey, what's wrong with you? $5,000? You could buy a house, you could do this, you could do that." But then, so again, Gary Halbert says, that fear knocked on the door, and when courage answered, there was no one there. So I think I think that's how it goes, And another quote that I would really like to share is that a lion does not lose sleep over the opinion of sheep. So this one really gets me going, So I have this yellow book. So I keep writing all these quotes, and then whenever I feel down, I just read them. Whenever I get up, I read them. Like how you watch your YouTube motivational videos. I'm more of a writing sort of guy. And there's this red book. So let me just share my screen with you. I think this resource would be helpful for our audience.
Okay.
So please excuse me. I've not used Skype. I'm not a very. I know I'm sort of a associated.
There's two box icons overlapping one another.
Achha.
Just click on it. You would get a pop-up share screen.
Wonderful. Yes. Okay. So I think you should be able to see my screen now. Click the box. Can you see my screen?
No, I cannot. Yeah, now I can.
All right. So along with Joseph Sugarman, there is other company called DAK. So let me just open one of their brochures. I'll just tell you the name of the guy. One moment. Drew Kaplan. You can search for Drew Kaplan. I forgot Drew Allen Kaplan, I think. So this guy, he's similar to Joseph Sugarman. So in the 70s and 80s. So these guys are more into tech. So what they do is, these guys they used to sell via mail. So these are the brochures that they have. I've only been able to source these many. They still have a company now, but the style of writing is not the same. Now it's very adapted. So for example, you have this calculated thing, and then the headline says astounding writing, fast. And then why say good when you can say stellar, splendid, or glorious? Why say fast when you can say meteoric or flash? Now you can add 220,000 synonyms to your writing and speaking vocabulary, and you can correctly spell over 100,000 words instantly for just $99, $90. So wow. So what I do is so basically what I do is I collect these headlines and these sub headlines, and I keep writing them in this red book that I just showed you. So this is just one. Oh, okay. This is just a single page. Okay. Let me show another one. So these are the dummy products.
For me right now.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is
yeah. No, now it's working.
okay.
Maybe it's an internet connection.
Possibly. I apologize. 1 second. Yes. All right. Yes. This is one of the ones that I finished. So this is the brochures that they used to send out, right? So see, this is for I think this is for computer. So it says unfair competition, and then an unfair challenge to IBM's typewriters and can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can see your screen.
Yes. So I feel like this is a wonderful resource. So what they do is they have all these tech items. Like for example, name dropper stopper. I really like this headline here. So this thing basically what it does is caller ID. So now all you need is the name of the person you want to call, and their number will be dialed automatically in true tone. Okay, it's an automatic dialer. So this is all in the 70s, and I think the point here is to understand the logic behind the copywriter. Like see now Gary's Revenge. This is a return offer that they had. So they had sold this item before, and then now they're like, one of the partners didn't feel that price was good, so he's taking revenge on the industry. Now we are slashing down the price. So
okay.
So the way they see unleash TV video sound. So I feel like this is really nice, computer activator. So the resources are there, and then one more resource is 1 second. So if you search for in Flickr, I had found this on Flickr. JS&A catalog. So this is Joseph Sugarman and Associates catalog. This was really wonderful. So see, this is computer. Can you see this? Computer Stadium Baseball. So this is for this item, right? And then you have Pocket Camera Breakthrough. So if you just search on Flickr, I think it's Jeepers Media. The guy's name is Jeepers Media. So he's taken a photograph of all these brochures. And he's been kind enough. There are 2 or 3. I think this is really nice. See, unfair copy. This is a Mercury watch, which is a replica of the Seiko watch, which was really famous in the 70s. So, but what he's done is he's been very this thing here. So, for example, what I did was so let me show you how I applied this in my copy. So I had taken this, and then there was this this watch, right?
Apple Watch.
This watch. It's not an Apple Watch. It's actually a watch that has an LCD screen. It only shows in red color. In LCD, it only shows the time. It looks exactly like a smartwatch, this one. But so what I did was see, this is how it is. This is all it does.
Okay. It looks like an Apple Watch.
Exactly. So based on what I learned, I think what I did was I called it the modest fraud. My title for this was the modest fraud. Another title that I wanted to split test. I think a lot of people here don't understand the importance of split testing. For the audience, split testing is when you have 2-3 versions of the same page, and then you test and see which one has more response. So one was modest fraud. One other title was not so smart, in quotes, not so smart smartwatch. And the description says exactly that this watch is not going to be buzz, poke, all those 10-15 things. It's just going to show you the time. If you're looking for something that leaves you alone, this is the kind of watch you want. So I've been very honest here. So I'm trying to say that the point here is that even if you have products that seem like you can't sell, if you're honest, and if you're a little funny, and then you're sort of creative in your research, then you can sort of get away with even the silliest products. So it has like 15 colors, man. I don't know. I don't think I would be selling this in 15 colors, but yeah. So that was there. Yeah. So this is the Joseph Sugarman thing.
Okay.
All right. Sorry. I think I've sort of This is supposed to be you talking, but I think I was so excited that I was just.
You just go, yeah, okay. You found the option to dismiss.
Yes. Let me just. Am I back? I don't know. Am I back?
Yeah, you were back.
Yeah. All right. Perfect. All right. So starting off. All right. Let's just start off with what your understanding of dropshipping is. For a lot of people here, I think a lot of people think uthao, pheko, paisa banao. It's this. It's just like
That's the basic concept.
Yeah. Yes.
That's the basic concept everyone understands.
Yes. But okay, so let me start with which Shopify plan would you recommend? So for anyone starting off, so there are
three options.
Adrian Morrison says that when he started off with the most expensive plan. There are others who say start off with the most cheapest plan, see how it goes. So what is your take on that?
I don't feel like you should go for the $299 plan, because if you go for that, you would get access to like 15 staff members in that. Right now, if I'm not wrong, it is 15. So you would be, when you try to scale your business, in that situation, you have to hire staff members in order to manage your store. So in order to manage your store, you have to add them. That is why those higher ticket, what should I say, subscription option is the best one to go for. But when you are starting out, you are going to do it all by yourself. You don't need anyone's help in that. I think you won't be needing anyone's help. So that is why I would suggest you to go for $29 plan, because when I got started, I used $29 plan.
Wonderful. Okay, next question. So we just track this off. Which theme would you recommend? So I asked this because what I did was, so I'm a very, I know how to code as well, not very well, but so I'm a very hands-on kind of guy. I'm very, I think that's the curse of being a little too creative or whatever, because I know a bit of design and know a bit of copy. I have a lot of OCD when it comes to the spacing between the product name and the description and the font used, and I've studied typography. So basically what I did was I took Shopify's debut theme and then I altered the entire thing based on how I liked it. And what I did was I went around for a week or 2 weeks searching for apps and then studying them, studying the kind of features I wanted, then studied stores and studied the kind of features, like that pop-up on the side that says someone from here just purchased this, that pop-up notification of a recent sales purchase. Then there are those timers, then there are those pop-up windows which give you discount codes, and I did all of this, and then I researched and I made a list of 40 apps. Then I was like, no, I don't need this, and then I narrowed it down to 12 or 15 apps. And then immediately the next day I found Shopify Booster theme, which had pretty much all of what I wanted.
All of them in.
Yes. But what I want to clarify here is like a lot of so the justification that I took, I still didn't go with it, and I'll tell you why. The reason was that even though the Shopify Booster theme had most of the features, it didn't have analytics for those features. So the individual, so even though the Shopify Booster theme, I think it's for $179 or $180, and these individual, so that is a one-time purchase. On the other hand, these apps are costing me pretty much the same, monthly though. And I still decided to go with the monthly thing because my logic was that I want to know, because I can always unsubscribe from those apps, and I really wanted to know. Because the theme did not give you analytics. This pop-up notification was clicked on these many times. This worked. This didn't. So there was no analytics behind those, and I really wanted to know analytics. I wanted to know how my site was doing, what was clicking. So I think there's one called Orange something. There's a heat map app.
There's many.
Lucky Orange. Yeah. So there's Lucky Orange as well. So I haven't launched my store yet, but the research I did. And because I know Facebook analytics and I know digital marketing analytics, so I figured that would be a good option, right, to have. And so what is your take on this? So would you suggest a monthly $180 expenditure, or would you spend a booster theme or spend on a booster theme that just gave you all the features without knowing what was happening? What is your take on that?
If I would say that depends on the budget of the user. if someone's starting out, they don't have $180 in their bank account to spend on a theme right away. And I feel that when you're starting out, you don't need that much expensive theme. You can just start with 5 apps that are free, or even you can opt for a paid one if you like. As you said, if someone is going for the hurry-fi option, that means build a fake scarcity, then they can opt for the hurry-fi app instantly. If they don't want, they can just unsubscribe from that.
Absolutely.
But I would say, in order to build a brand, don't use hurry-fi and those fake scarcity option, because Shopify now, when I got started 3 years ago, it was something different, and now it is totally a different scenario. Like, people already know that these guys are drop shipping from somewhere else. They take a lot of time. They take around 12 to 20 days to reach your customer. It can be more than that if Shopify, AliExpress, screws up something. So your international customers know all this stuff right now, and they focus on, unless, like, what I'm trying to say is that unless you have a product that really will solve their problem, they're not going to buy that instantly. And if you're using some trigger apps like a hurry-fi theme or a fake scarcity option, you can see all those on stores, like 500 people visitors, 500 people are watching this right now. And if you use those kind of strategies, people already know these are fake. People already are aware of those facts. And for that, if you use an app, I would suggest you to go for normal apps. If you're trying to go for that route, just deactivate when you find that after testing you are not getting any sales. You can understand that you are unable to build trust in your customers, so just unsubscribe from that. If you opt for a Shopify booster theme, that means a $300 option or $180, whatever it's right now. If you go for that, you cannot just deactivate that option. You would have to either learn coding in order to just remove the code from the store, or you have to contact those persons and ask those representatives to remove it for you. So that is why I would suggest you to go for the similar simple application stuff. Don't go for themes.
Absolutely. Perfect. Wonderful. While we're still okay, so we've covered, let me just strike off the questions. So this is my messy notebook. They're just so while you're talking, they just keep popping up, and you're answering like 2-3 at once, so they're cross related.
Yeah, that's my problem. I always talk like I don't talk straight to the point. I talk like everything everywhere. It jumbles up into one form.
No, I think so. One of my questions was like, which Shopify plan should you buy, and which apps or services to use, and then which theme, and then this you individually answered 2-3 of them. Okay, so now we're still on the topic of apps. I think this question has never been covered. I have never been able to see this question. I think you'll be the perfect person to answer this. Do a lot of apps slow your page down?
Yes, it will slow your page down if you just use Pingdom or even GT Metrics, that is Google Page Analytics software or application, whatever you call it. If you just punch in your website name, you would find all the relevant stats that you have to correct them. What should I say? The correct term is you should be able to understand what is slowing your site down. And if you use, like, most of the time with Shopify, images are the most common thing that happens. People upload a hell lot of images, like they have 40 products in the store, so they're uploading every single image from AliExpress, and those images are not compressed. And that would create a huge site load that can take, like, even if your site is around 3 MB file, you can tell from your common sense that 3 MB is not a lot, but for a cell phone user, it's a lot if they have a slower internet connection. And you might say, like, United States, that means they have NASA company, so they would get like 1 Gbps connection. Every single house is having those connections, so I'm not bothered about that. But I can guarantee you that not many people use Wi-Fi when they're purchasing their product. They use their cellular network. So cellular network, we as Indians are using cellular network. Like, we can feel that it's getting slower day by day. If we start running 15 websites, it's getting slower. So what I would suggest you not to have more than 10 or 12 apps on your store. whichever you feel that are most important in your store that would help you build your brand, use those apps. Don't just target 40 different apps into one store and you feel like, okay, I have this massive store that's replica of Amazon, I'm going to make billions of dollars. That is not going to happen.
Wonderful, wonderful. This reminds me of something my dad said a long time ago. So when I was a kid, I was a very mischievous kid. So
Okay.
when I used to go to a buffet or a party, right? So I used to eat like it was my last meal. And then one day when I grew up, my dad was like, "Theek hai, as a kid, you won't listen." So when I grew up a little and I had some sense, my dad took me to the side and he said, "When you go to eat to other people's place, don't eat like it's your first meal or your last meal. Eat like it's just another meal, you know." So I think that's what happens with Shopify. So I just want to share this incident with you. So I was doing a lot of testing of these apps. So there's this app for this. So there's this app for a security badge for this antivirus company, right?
Yeah.
So I don't want to share the name. So what I did was I was like, okay, XYZ secure. Okay, this shows up on the bottom right. I think people will be super excited and they'll trust my brand. And then even Google search results next to the name, it'll show that badge. But I realized that so my store got really slow, right? So and then when I was sitting down and when I decided to pay, so I took all free trials for all these apps and then I modified them, saw how they worked. And then I kept checking. So my page was loading up in 9 seconds. And it has no products. It's empty. It's a blank screen. And seeing 9 seconds, I'm like, holy hell, what is happening? And then so I started removing all these apps and everything. And then when I removed the single badge, immediately the time went from 9 seconds to 2 seconds. And then I realized that this page, in order to verify that my page was this app to verify that my page was secure, it was actually checking everything, checking the entire site, even though it was empty. And then after 9 seconds, once it was satisfied, it was letting me access my page. So I think a lot of people should do a lot of testing with these apps as well. You install an app, even without bothering with the settings, just see how much time it takes to load. And then if it's worth it, then I think we should go ahead.
True.
Wonderful. Okay. Okay. Let me pull you back a bit. And
Okay.
So going back to deciding to go ahead with drop shipping, I think a lot of, so I say this to a lot of my students as well, that the purpose of a business is to sell, but the priority of a business is to serve. Right. So whenever you start a business, you need to keep these two things in mind, and you need to keep these two priorities separate. So that way you're subjective with your customers and objective with your business goals. So what is the usual time to break even? So if I invest 1 lakh rupees, so for me, I know that when you start a business, you shouldn't actually be like, I'll recover 1 lakh in 2 days, 10 days or whatever. But so there are people out there who will be taking loans, who will be saving up money, who have other priorities as well. So budgeting would be a very important factor. So I think this question demands a lot of relevance here. Okay, what is the usual time to break even? So if you're taking a loan of 1 lakh or half a lakh or whatever, and if you have to decide whether you have to take it for 6 months or 1 year or 2 years, so what is the calculation required? What is the usual time to break even with a drop shipping store?
I would say there's no break-even time for that, because I can give you one simple example. You would relate to that very well. I'll give you the name of the business. You can understand from there. Uber. You can get the point. Uber is not yet profitable right now, even right now. After a long business, years over, like they have been running business for more than 5 years. I'm not sure. They have been running business for more than 5 years and they are still not profitable. Absolutely. So you can understand, if you have a mindset, what all of my students, basically, whoever asks me for one-on-one or anything, like they always ask me, Arijit, I have $500. I want to make back $5,000. I have a family issue right now. I want to support my family. I have my sister's wedding that's coming in April. So I want to help my father with money. So I have only $500. Can you help me? I tell them that's not possible for me to help right now. Even if you pay me $1 million, I cannot help you in that. Just because There is no concept in this. This is a business mindset, so it can take even 1 month, it can take even 1 year to crack the code. And there's no secret ingredient. Use more than that. You cannot just expect something miraculous to happen with those platforms. They are just simple tools that will help you to reach your goal from point A to point B. It won't help you to reach your goal from point A to point Z. If Z is your point to make $1 million, it will help you to reach even one step closer to that. It won't help you to reach that super fast. So the question is, what you are asking, the minimum budget what people I suggest to go for is $500. If you have more money, the mirror it is. If you have more, the mirror it is. But most of the Indian customers, they don't have $5,000 lying in their bank account. They don't have $10,000 lying in their bank account. I didn't have that when I started with 3 years ago. I had like like $1,000 in my bank account. I took that resembles around 60,000 at the time. This is today, right now, it's around 70,000 rupees. So I used that money. I jumped into dropshipping with all of my savings money. That was my savings. I still had a credit card in my account. That means I could have spent, sorry about that, I could have spent at least more 1 lakh or 2 lakh rupees into the business. So theoretically, I had 2,70,000. That means 3 lakh rupees in my bank account. So what I did was I was not understanding this business totally. So I jumped right into this business and I messed up everything.
Oh.
It's a true, honest story. Because most of the people who sees online videos, YouTube videos, they think like they can make back like instantly. With a snap of a finger, they can turn, this is a magic business. They put $1, they can make back $5 instantly. That is not true. So I invested $1,000. I wasted that $1,000. I was crazy about this. I had to make this happen. So I invested another 2 lakh rupees from my credit card. And remember, credit card is something that is very scary in India.
Absolutely.
If you spend that money, you don't have any residual income from anywhere. You don't have, unless you have a job that pays you 60,000 rupees per month. You don't have that money to pay back 2 lakh rupees instantly within 1 month or 45 days. They have a period of 45 days in that. So I was spending a hell lot of money. I was not scared because I knew that what I am trying is something that can change my life forever. I knew that from the beginning because I had the mindset to reach point Z.
Absolutely.
Anyhow, any way I should be reaching that point Z. So I invested, what's the calculation for 3 lakh rupees in dollars? Maybe 1,500? 1,500, might be 1,500, or it can be more than 2 lakh. Actually, it's more than 2 lakh. So I invested more than, $2,000. So I invested $2,000 into the business and I was not making money. I made back $500 with that.
It's $4,000, by the way.
$4,000. Okay.
$4,200. Yes.
Okay, so $4,000. So I invested $4,000. I had no money in my bank account. If I ask my parents to give money for that 3 years ago, they would just kick me out from the house.
Yeah.
They didn't know even I was doing this online business. They would have given me a negative thought because I feel like whoever is near you will try to give you negative thoughts, even if that's your family. Don't do this, don't do that, this is not the right way, because they have been trained to go for a different tradition.
Yes.
This is a new tradition that we are into. We feel like taking risk is the most important thing right now. So I took risk. Long story short, within 1 month, I got one single winning product that took my business to $10,000 in that particular month.
Wonderful.
And I did not even opt for any coaching program. I did not even opt for anything. So I invested $4,000 to make back $10,000. So that is the true story that you need to have in order to get started with your business. You cannot just put a margin or a threshold. Like, what I'm trying to say is a business is hungry for money. It can't be It can't be like it's hungry for money. It can't be like you can invest. You think of investing. You can open a local store in your garage. You can open that. You can just do drop shipping locally within your area, and you can start with free for that. In order to get money, in order to invest that money into your business. I started with that as a service for building websites. So I was building websites for different clients. I got hold of different clients like affiliate marketing who were in the affiliate marketing niche. So I contacted them. I asked them, do you have a website? They told me, no, I don't have a website. So I told them, okay, I can create a website for $100. Would you be interested in that? Because people are charging $3,000 to build a website. So I hustled a lot in order to make back what I invested into the business, and I kept on making money from here. Let's say this is the point where I was losing money. I made back money from this point and I invested that into this business. So I am not going to say a exact figure that is required to start a business, because if you want to start a business, you need to have a hungry mindset in order to make money as well from another source. That is my longest answer till date.
Wonderful. I just wanted to add, so Gary Vaynerchuk, a lot of people might know him. So he says, with regards to entrepreneurship and regards to business, he says, don't swim unless you're prepared to drown. So I think a lot of guys here need to get that fixed in their mindset, that this whole business thing is not an occupation, it's a mindset. It's unless you're prepared for a lot of frustration, a lot of failure, a lot of confusion, a lot of bottlenecks, a lot of what do I do next situations. Don't get into it. If you're not prepared to mentally handle that. I remember yesterday I was like, every day, for the last 10 days, this has happened to me every day. I get up and I'm like, awesome, yesterday I figured this out. And then by afternoon, I'm like, holy shit, my business has gone to shit. I can't figure this thing out. I'm gone, I'm this. And then by evening, I figure something out. And then my night, there's always these loops up and down, up and down, up and down. And then now I've gotten used to it. I'm like, okay, this. Okay, so I'll ask you those few questions next. So what we discussed about regarding payment gateways and all. So this happens a lot, especially with online businesses. You don't know what to do, and then you shouldn't give up. That's like basically like you said, you will find an answer and you will sort of figure it out. So as long as I have all these micro plans, I have a lot of these books. I have these daily goals, I have weekly goals, I have monthly goals, and it's okay if you don't hit all of them. You don't need to be a superhero. You'll always hit, like if you keep 10, if you always push yourself, if you know that you can do 5 or 6 and you push yourself for 10, after a while your brain adapts and you're able to do 10. But then because you're reaching for 10, you reach 5 or 6, which was the original goal, and you trick your brain into sort of achieving your goals. So I think like, well said, man, well said. So
I'd like to add this to the last, like you said, what I learned all these years is that I target failures. I don't target winners, because if I have set a mindset of achieving a target within 1 month, let's say I want to get 4 clients within this month. So if I have that mindset to reach that goal, I will not reach that goal ever. But if I have a mindset, okay, I'll contact 50 people and I'll get 45 of them reject me. I'll have the target to rejection. I won't target to get acceptance. I will target to get rejected. If I keep on doing that, then let's say out of 45, 10 people accepted my offer. So eventually I fulfilled my target. Eventually I was targeting 4 people to fulfill my whatever dream I had. Eventually 10 people opted for that. So that is the mindset that I keep on following every single day. Whenever I opt for any business opportunity, whether it's affiliate marketing, whether it's drop shipping, whether it's lead generation, anything, that is the mindset that you need to have. You cannot just make a mindset, okay, I need to make $5,000 in this week. You will never make that money if you have that mindset. You have to think like, I will lose $5,000 in this week. And that's the stupidest thing I've said online right now. But the thing is, that is the truth. If you keep on losing money, you will make back money instantly. And you will be surprised at the result, how much you are getting back from your loss.
Absolutely. Just wanted to add. I think we just have one question. We're just constantly adding to it,
Yeah,
But I think this will be a nice addition to it. So I there's this mental model. It's called analysis by paralysis. Paralysis
yeah,
by analysis. Sorry, I said it the other
yeah.
way. So a lot of guys do this. They overthink and then they are paralyzed and then they don't know what to do next. And Gary Halbert says this. He has this quote which says that movement is greater than meditation. So he says,
Yeah.
just keep moving. It doesn't matter
Take
if you don't
action.
know. Take action. If you're trying to do a website, it's okay. Just have that goal that you just put the title, and then figure. Don't worry about anything else. So just put the title, or just put one product, or just put one word in there. Just
Yeah.
open the damn thing. Just do something, And then you know that I've not done zero today. That's enough. If you're that paralyzed, if you're starting off, you don't have experience, you don't have this thing, just do something. And then little by little, you'll start getting better. And then you'll start doing more and more. So I think that's wonderful. Okay.
True.
All right. So we have crossed this out. All right. I think this question again has never been covered. I've not seen this, particularly for Indian audiences. So one important thing, especially if you're going with PayPal, I think a lot of people use PayPal for payment gateways, and they don't
Yep.
realize that you need to have a legitimate business setup.
Yeah.
So how would you recommend how would you recommend people to start, and how much would it cost, and how much time would it take to process your application to start your own registered business in India?
One day.
One day, perfect. And how do you go about doing that?
You have your PAN card, you have your bank details, you just upload those information into your PayPal business account. They will ask you to upload few documents not related to your business. If they ask you like give us transaction details, you would directly contact them and say them, okay, look, I am starting a business right now. I don't have a transaction details as of yet, but what I can do is I can give you 6 months of my bank account transaction. Whatever transaction happened with my bank account, let's say I withdraw, let's say you use daily expenses for your bank, right? You go to grocery store, you purchase something from your local store, you use a debit card, there's a transaction happening in your bank account every single day. Use that to show them I am doing a lot of transaction on my bank account, so I can give you a detailed transaction for 6 months. I cannot give you more than that because of privacy concern. So would that be effective for accepting this proposal? They would say, yeah, okay, fine, so I can accept that. Just give us your information and I'll let you know. So within just 1 day or 2 days, you would get a notification that you have been accepted. That's it.
Wonderful, wonderful, perfect. What payment gateways apart from PayPal would you recommend? Would you suggest to check out, or there are others out there who Indian drop shippers who use they speak very strongly and highly about Stripe and Shopify payments, but so I think I'll just link the other question with this one. So along with international payment gateways, do you really need a US address? So, because I've seen other Indian dropshippers have a US address on their store. So they use virtual PO boxes and then put that address in there. So what's your take on that? And as well as US phone numbers, which what's your thought on that?
You can create a US phone number instantly. Like when I call international clients, I use international call number using Skype. There's a Skype feature. You can get a cell phone number for that. Just pay 400 rupees or to get the Skype number, and on a monthly basis, by the way. And you would pay something like 1100 or 1200 rupees to get the subscription for like a monthly subscription, like a postpaid connection. So you can call them directly. So you can get a number instantly. It's not a big deal, but for the PO address, post office or post box address, you have to register your business in order to do that. And I did not do anything like that because I was starting off as a teenager, so I did not have a lot of experience in that 3 years ago. So I did not opt for any registration document. I was starting with my own local household address, and people were okay with that because I don't feel like they get notified with your local address. I'm not sure how you came across this, but when someone sends an invoice, they don't receive the address in that.
It's actually okay. Can I just share it with
Yeah, sure.
screen? So what there are.
By the way,
yes.
Sorry to interrupt. Hide your address, because if we upload this video somewhere, people will get acquainted with your address.
I am not sure how to hide it.
Just remove the address.
Okay. Let me. No, it's above the fold, and I can't go down. So I'll do one thing. I'll just zoom. I think I'll just zoom. Okay.
Yep.
Yes, I think this should work. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. No, wait. Okay, I'll do one thing. Let me just let's just continue with this call. In the meanwhile, I'll just okay.
Yeah,
okay.
You can explain it from your end, like what you see and all.
Okay, so what happens is there are two checkout. So if you're using the express checkout, you get a different screen. If you're directly accessing your payments, you're making your payments directly with PayPal, you get a different screen. So what happens? Let me just read it out for you. So it says thank you for your payment, and there's a PayPal logo, and it says transaction ID. An email with your order summary has been sent to xyz@gmail.com. Now this is the email address that you've registered PayPal with. So if you have, let's say, dropship.com as your store name. So what? So because you don't have an official website, you'll have to create a Gmail address. So maybe you created dropship@gmail.com, and then you created your Shopify account, and then you use the same account for PayPal. So that account shows up here, and you cannot change it. So I'd like to share that with your audience. Once you create the PayPal account with a particular email, you can't change it. You'll have to create a new PayPal account and then link your documents and everything all over again. So for me, what happens is you get transaction ID, and then you get your email, an email with your order summary has been sent to the dropship@gmail.com once the customer makes. And then under that, it says merchant contact information, support@dropship.com. So this, I'm sorry, I'm just getting a call. 1 second. Hello?
Yep.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm on an online call. Can I just call you back? Sorry. Thanks. Bye. So sorry, that was my wife.
No worries. I can understand.
Sorry, so it says merchant contact information. This is where you can put in your official email address. So you're getting two here. So you're getting your @gmail.com and you're getting your @dropship.com. So I think, guys, if you are creating a PayPal, I think a good idea would be to first create a Gmail account, create the Shopify store, then create a G Suite professional email address, link it to your store, fix it there, then go to PayPal and use your professional email to create the PayPal account. And then now this is once you make a payment, I think I'm not sure if this is another one. What happens here is you just made a payment of XYZ dollars. Under that print receipt ka link hai, and then under that paid to dropship, support@dropship.com, and then send to, and this is my Indian address here. So this is where I panicked. This is where I was like, oh man, people are going to see this. And my Shopify store, the receipt that Shopify sends to your customers, there is where I use my virtual US address. So I was concerned, oh man, what will they think? They get one receipt from Shopify, which has a US address, and then a PayPal says an Indian address. So I think if you could clarify on what do you feel the impact of revealing your name and address has on customers, and your take on US. So you cannot have PayPal with a US address unless you're in the US, because then they'll ask for your US bank documents. So I think it's, my logic now tells me, after all these mistakes I made, I think it's logical to be honest and just tell people we are an Indian store, we're based here, we're giving you the best products, and then give them the Indian address there and keep the same Indian address there. But what happens is, if you keep your Indian address in Shopify, your entire store has rupees in it. I think you can use an app to sort of fix that, or you can use a theme or whatever. So sorry, I kept going on. Please.
No worries. The thing is that I did not face any issue as of yet. I was running my store for 3 years, and it did not bother me at all, because people are aware of this fact that you are drop shipping some item from some other country, and so they are totally okay with that. If someone asks you, like, let's take an example in this case. Like some people will, some customer of yours will be agitated to receive a product. So they might say, I want a refund. So you can just send them a refund for whatever they have made. You can just cancel the order on AliExpress and that's it. Your deal is over with that customer. If someone is saying, okay, so I ordered this product and I didn't receive the product, what should I do? Where's my product? Some angry customer will tell, where the hell is my product? This is the exaggeration of that tone. So they might say something like this. So in that scenario, you would have to reply to them using your official email address, not the local address or whatever. You would have to reply to them with your business email ID and tell them politely that, due to heavy order situation right now with our store, with our business, so we are currently facing a lot of delay in delivery time. So that is why it might take 12 days or 20 days more to reach your premises. So please keep patience, and and I'm grateful to welcome you to whatever your store name is into Dropship family. Thank you for your patience, and we'll get in touch with you with a tracking ID as soon as possible. That's it. You don't have to deal with any local address. You don't have to deal with any email ID, because eventually, even if you use a US based address, let's say you dropship the product to Canada, and you have an address using, let's say it was in Las Vegas. You have a virtual box address in Las Vegas, because people always go for Las Vegas to opt for a virtual address. So how do you think people from Canada is going to drop ship the product they received or return the product to Las Vegas? They are not going to pay that money to send the product directly to that owner. They're not going to do that. Eventually, either you have to opt for two things in this case. Either you have to opt for a loss, you have to refund the money, as well as they can keep the product so that you can build trust in the long run. Or you can, if the scenario is they haven't received the product yet, you can just opt for the second option to cancel the order on AliExpress and send them the money, whatever they paid. That's the best way to deal with this situation.
Absolutely. Fantastic. Okay, final question. So I think we've reached the end of the list. There is one regarding virtual assistants, but I would like to ask you whether it's a good time right now to tackle this question, because I think we are discussing a lot of beginner questions. So would you like to tackle a question regarding VAs, or should we skip it for some other time?
I think we should skip it, because you haven't even started your store. You haven't reached 1,000 orders per day. So it's not relevant to go for virtual assistant right now, because like I said, if you offer a $29 plan, you would get one staff member into your Shopify store. So you can add one virtual assistant in that case. If you reach 10,000 orders per day, because a lot of business owners are getting that level. So if you reach 10,000 orders per day, you would need at least 5 different virtual assistants working at the same time. And Absolutely. So I would say not to opt for this question right away, but I already answered this question kind of. So that's my answer.
Cool. All right. So guys, this is where experience pays off. So, okay, the final question. When you opt for PayPal, I think it's the easiest to get started with. How long? So I'm asking this question because I was budgeting, and then I realized because dropshipping is basically a numbers game, right? So if I have this bottle, right? If I see this for $2 and I'm selling it for $6 or $7 or $8, so if you are the customer and you buy it from me for $6, and then I'm going to use your money and then I'm going to buy it from wherever and then drop ship it to them. So the logic is, if I have 100 bottles like this, and the moment these guys buy, the timer starts. 3 to 4 weeks, the timer starts, and then if it takes 7 days or 8 days for me to get your payment processed, that adds 7 days to the delivery. So how long does it take for international payments to get processed through PayPal? If you are in the US and you bought this bottle for $10, let's say, how long does it take for me to be here in India, sitting here in India? If right now, if you buy this bottle, how long would it take me to get the money from you?
1 minute.
1 minute?
Yeah, because you would receive the money directly to your Shopify store. You are going to receive the money in your Shopify account. And from your Shopify, they are going to charge a certain percentage, let's say 2.9%, if I'm not wrong right now. They're going to cut that money from whatever you are selling, and they're going to send the money to your PayPal account. So PayPal is going to withhold the money for I don't know if I'm not wrong, but one day, maybe 24 hours, they're going to hold that money in their account, in your account basically, and then they're going to transfer that money automatically to your local bank account after charging a certain percentage, obviously. So there's a two kind of charging happening in this case. So Shopify is charging for their transaction and PayPal is going to charge their transaction fees. So you are going to receive the money within 3 days into your bank account after PayPal discharges the payment from their account. So 3 days maximum. But for receiving the money from your international client or customer, you are going to receive that money within 1 minute. The transferring time takes when the money receives into your PayPal account, and it the time takes to transfer that money to your local bank account.
Wonderful, wonderful. So I think the important takeaway here is that the transfer takes 1 minute, but it takes 3 days to access the money.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, I think I'm done. But these are all the questions I could come up with in one night. But fantastic. Do you have anything to add in addition to all this?
Anything I would like to add is just get started right away. If you want to do this, you would feel like, okay, I don't have this theme right now, I don't have this app right now, I would change this app a little bit later, I would change this app tomorrow night. So after doing that, I am going to start. Then tomorrow something might new crop up. Okay, the header is not looking good, so I need to change that as well. So it might take another day, so I'll skip that to make it or promote the store later in the week. Don't do that. Start your store, A/B test everything, whatever is happening with your store. You can test. That is the most important thing of a business. You don't know what will sell. If you think like your store looks brilliant, I can guarantee you that it will feel the opposite for most of the customers. What we feel doesn't matter. What I feel doesn't matter. What you feel doesn't matter. It feels, the most important thing is what your customer feels, what your customer trusts. And unless and until you promote your store right in front of their face, you will not get an idea of what is going to work for you.
Perfect.
So start right away.
Fantastic. All right, man. Thank you so much. This has been a fantastic, very, very informational and educative 1 hour. Has it been 1 hour? I think it's been one.
It's totally 1 hour. I opted for 20 minutes. That is what happened with me with Esteban Gomez. I asked him for 20 minutes. Could you give me 20 minutes of your time? He said, okay, fine, let's do it. When I opted for the call, it went for 40 minutes long.
Well, it was a lot of fun. I hope whoever's listening, I hope they get a lot of value from this, man. And I really appreciate you sharing your content, sharing your knowledge with all of us. I hope you continue to inspire all of us. And I hope a lot of people who see this just stop meditating and start moving, I hope that happens. I hope even if I know I'm going to start, I know I'm not going to be like, oh, I need to do this or do that. I know I'm going to jump right in addition to what I've been doing. I hope that even if one guy gets influenced and inspired, I think your hour would be worth it. But I'm sure a lot more people, I'm sure a lot more people will get inspired. So thank you so much.
Exactly. Thank you. No problem. You're welcome. And thank you for giving me this opportunity to explain you a lot. I get a lot of questions asked, but I don't usually I don't get time to answer all of them right now. I got free from some of my work, so that is why I opted for this. And I knew that you were struggling with your business. And to be honest, just put your image on your Instagram profile. Don't use your graphic designing skill on your profile image.
Actually, I'll tell you the funny story behind that Instagram thing. So a lot of people ask me, you have 30,000 followers. Now it's 27, 26 because I have not done justice to any of them. So a lot of people are like, you have 27, 28. I barely have 1,000. Why are you not taking advantage of that? And I told them, see, that Instagram account had a purpose. I'm not a very social guy. I've become very social now because I realized that you need to share and influence others to get influenced yourself. But what I did was, so I wanted a promotion, and I told my boss at that point of time, you give me 6 months, I'll learn art, I'll learn graphic design, and I'll get 30,000 followers. I told him I'll get 10,000 followers on Instagram, and then I'll prove to you. And I had a Facebook page as well. So I told him I'll get 1,000 on Facebook, and I get 5,000 or 10,000. I just put some dummy numbers, man. I didn't even know. So at that point in time, I told him, if I do this, you give me that promotion. You make me XYZ position. And he laughed it off. And he's like, this guy, he hasn't posted on Facebook from 3 years. Ye kya followers lega? And then he said, okay, go ahead, let's see. And I did that. So the whole purpose of that Instagram channel was that exactly, So,
was to get a promotion.
Yes, it was exactly that. It was just to hustle, man. It was just to prove to my boss, see, boss, the reason why I'm not good on social media is because I'm not putting any effort there. But you wanted to see what I can do. Here is what I can do, and that's what I did. So in 6 months, I got those numbers. I don't know how, but somehow I got 30,000, and that was all organic, by the way. That was entirely organic Instagram. I just kept talking to people and I kept sharing stuff, and it reached 30. Now it's 26. And then the Facebook pay, I used advertising. I got like 1,500 in one day. Then I showed my boss, this is my ad and this is XYZ.
You use paid advertising for that, right?
For Facebook, yes. For Facebook, I used, I think for 1,500 followers, it cost me around $1,000. And I didn't even use any ad. I just used a collage of my artwork. And then I just said, if you like art, please like my page or something of that sort. Very humble, modest, no nonsense, no copywriting, just like that. And people were so kind, and then they liked it. But there was no engagement. I think that is also dead. But I hope to start a copywriting channel on Instagram soon. I'm not really sure. I'm still planning out. So I have not had any fixed plans. I think you need to be on a certain level of expertise, and you need to be able to give justice, to sort of do these things. And I don't want to make the same mistake with my Instagram, So I now want to, if I'm going to start a channel, I want to make sure that I can give 2-3 hours every day.
Yeah, that's true. So you didn't use any paid advertising for your Instagram?
No.
All were organic, right?
I used a lot of art forums. I used a lot of friends networks.
Okay.
So because I haggled and I bugged a lot of people. And so I realized I learned how to draw in 1 month. And now looking back, after I learned content marketing, I realized that would have been a fantastic case study, because what I did was I used to draw circles, just circles round and round and round and round for 6 hours, 8 hours every day, because all of the people in my office, all the graphic designers are fine art graduates. And so they were like, you have to draw circles. So what I did was I made these templates of circles in light gray, and I printed 100 of them out, and every day 2-3 I would fill out, just like that, to get free my hand. You know how like Bruce Lee says, just use that one punch 10,000 times. That's basically what I did for 2 weeks, man. And then my hand got for free hand, right? So with the shoulder, with the elbow, with the wrist, all these precision movements and free movement. I did that for 2 weeks. Then I started drawing and shading, and then I learned how to shade with. So I read Leonardo da Vinci's biography. So they said there are these drawings called cast drawings. So because models used to sit for 8 hours, 10 hours, and it was really difficult, they used to have these white statues. And they used white because it was really difficult to find shade and shadow in them. So I did that, and I started copying those. And I just did that to learn how to shade. If you see a lot of my drawings in Instagram, there's no color work, because I stopped there.
I was just looking that right now. When you said like 30,000 followers, I did not realize you had that much followers. But right now, when I looked at it, it blows my mind. You have a lot of interesting pictures. I am a kind of I'm not enthusiastic painter or whatever you call it, but I do paint a lot. I can just show you some of my pictures on Instagram later on. But I am really impressed with whatever you have done till now. Like those statue works, I'm not sure if you hand drawn them. But
they're hand drawn. So basically, I used there's this technique called transposition in music. So if you're playing if every singer has a vocal range, right? So what the guitarist does is he tones down. If it's a high pitched song, he will tone down to the key of C. If you can play in the key of C, he'll tone it to that. So it's called transposition. So this is a concept in music, but it can also be applied into other fields. So when you use mental models, when you have cognitive biases and all those are psychological frameworks which you're applying to selling and all that. So that's transposition. So basically what I did was, because I didn't know Photoshop, I used, so there's this concept called, there's this thing called clipping mask. So what I
Okay.
did was, clipping mask basically does, if you have my face here, so it covers my face and then you can do whatever outside it, or you can do everything inside this. So all I
Okay.
did was I drew that thing, the outlines, I took a Xerox of the same size, I cut it out, I pasted it over that, then I used graphic powder around it to shade that thing. And then I use the same thing inside it. So I used to cut out outside the image and then basically hollow paper, and then I used to shade inside it with graphic powder. So all
I
these,
can tell right now, like this is the deadly combination. You were a BTech, right? You said you were
yes,
doing
yes,
BTech.
yes. I
You were a
finished it
BTech
in
guy. You are a BTech guy. You did copywriting. You are doing copywriting. You are doing graphic designing. This is a deadly combination. I can guarantee you that, because
Thank you.
there is a lot of opportunities in this field. Like if you have, like most people, what they do. I am from a commerce background, but I ended up with internet marketing.
Wonderful.
I should have been doing a job in a bank account or a bank accountant, but I chose this path. Something drove me in this route. So not because of money, obviously, but because of I felt interesting about this field, and that is what you are doing right now. You feel passionate about something, and you are focusing on that right away.
Thank you. Thank you.
So that's a big thing. I think you should be like applauding yourself. Like this is a big thing that you're doing. I haven't even seen a BTech guy doing a copywriting, doing a painting job as well, like a graphic designer.
Thank you. Thank
It's
you.
a big thing. I'm totally impressed with that.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you. It's just that I think it's Joseph Sugarman in the copywriter his handbook. He says you have general knowledge and you have specific knowledge, and then I even Mahatma Gandhi, he says that you need to sort of. I think there's a saying, I can't remember, but there's this incident where he asked people not to eat salt, and then people are like, "What are you doing?" So basically, what he does is he stops eating salt for 10 days. And people say,
Okay.
"Why are you doing this?" He's like, "No, I'm going to ask others to stop doing it." So one of the reasons why because you can be a really big hypocrite. There are people out there who will tell you how to write copy. If you're
Mhm.
in account management, if you have a digital agency, there are so a lot. I won't take names. I won't. But there are clients who will come up to you and say, "This logo doesn't look right. Can you make it pop?" And you're thinking, "What
Yep.
is pop? What is pop? Can you make it jazzy? Can you make it more this?" And they give you the most vague feedback. They have absolutely no idea of design or whatever, and it's very hypocritical. And I didn't want to be that guy. I didn't want to be the guy who leads the graphic design team in my office without knowing graphic design. So I
Yeah.
did the entire thing and I showed it to them. I learned it from them. I asked them every day, "What do you think of this circle? What do you think of this sphere? What do you think of the dabba? I shaded it from this side, from that side. Ambient lighting kiya hai." And I forgot the names, man. There's so many other different types of shadows. And then what do you think of that? And they used to get irritated and they're like, "Why are you doing this? Why can't you just do your job? You're a copywriter. Why aren't you doing that?" I'm like, "No, man, I really love your this thing. So usko zara chadana, usko impress karna,
I
usko push
can I
karna."
can I can see from your face you're very much excited with this.
I
You're
am.
deadly excited with this.
Yeah,
I
I
can
don't
give
know,
you
man.
one simple example. I was going through Jordan Belfort's videos. You know who's that guy, right?
Wall Street,
Wolf
yes.
of Wall Street, the biggest guy who made a scandal with stock market. So he's a reputed guy, by the way. And I was watching through his video. He told one salesman guy, he was having a seminar or something. He told one, not one actually, all of them were salesperson. So he told the simple thing that whatever you cannot just tell someone lower than your position, you cannot tell someone to do this, do that, unless you did that in yourself.
Mm.
And you were doing the same thing. You learned all these strategies. You learned how to draw within 1 month. You learned how to do graphic designing within 1 month, and you are guiding some people in your office to do that. Your boss is saying, go 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 and sit in your office, go and sit in your decks right now, do the copywriting. What the hell you're doing, right? Just forget what he's saying. He's not your boss, by the way. He is not doing that because he did not go through that route. I'm not demotivating any boss figure or businessman. They have a lot of struggle, they have a lot of mindset going on, but the thing is they did not go through the things that you are going through right now. You learned all the strategies yourself and you're guiding those people. Hey, just move the header right here, move this image, move that position, change the position. That is a good thing because you did it yourself.
Absolutely.
And that is the best thing in you, because you have already learned a hell lot of experience in this thing, and you're diversifying your knowledge into a different platform, that is drop shipping. I truly applaud you for this.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you. Is just so I think a lot of things come into place where, like, when you have humility and when you have curiosity, when you just have
Yeah.
hunger and you're not worried about the outcome. When I started 5 years ago, I had never dreamed that I would be spending $5,000 on a course, or would be able to spend 5,000 on a course. I'm not saying I'm rich. I saved all that money, guys. Just telling you guys. So I saved all that money, but I'm at a point where, from being a guy who wouldn't spend, 5,000 rupees on a book, or I have so many books here right now which are 20,000 rupees. They're from 70. There's Eugene Schwartz rare editions. There's I don't know, Gary Halbert's book. There's so many books here, and then I've bought all these books, and I know that. So I just want to share this with you. Okay, so I was just thinking about this the other day. So I made up this quote. I keep making up things to motivate myself. So I just wanted to share it with everyone that, all the hours you put in are soldiers, right? Every day you put in is a general. Every month you put in is a commander, and every year you put in is an admiral. So all these people, when the final battle comes, all these people will be standing beside you as your army. So it all depends on you as to who's standing with you. So every time you think that, oh, okay, I'm wasting 3 hours, I could have gone out on that date, or I could have gone out. So just realize that you're creating a soldier that day. So every week that you put in, realize that you're creating a captain or an admiral. So it really pumps me up. So when I'm sitting with you right now, I know there's a whole army standing behind me. And each one, every time I have a question, there's one soldier behind me that says, oh, you did this that day, okay, this is the answer to that. And there's another one, there's a captain that says, no, don't go there. So I think it's all up to you. So if you so when I did my MBA, there was this really great sir of mine, tutor for business strategy. I would like to share that. So he said, treat yourself like a company. Treat yourself like a company. Think of yourself as a company that needs finance, that needs production, that needs marketing, that needs all these things. And then a lot of things become very objective. You can remove the emotion out of it. And then it becomes instantly clear whether you need to go to that party tomorrow or to that business meetup. Whether you need to sit on a Saturday and chill and sleep, or be on an interview like this. A lot of things become very clear when you're a company and not just a person.
Yeah.
So
True.
I think I just wanted to share that.
Every person is a company in one or two sense. Every person, individual, is a company in itself. They have a sole proprietor, whatever you call it. They have their own identity, and every company has their own identity as well. So
Absolutely.
I don't feel like any person is an individual unless they feel that their way. So that's their own thought. But what I feel is that every person has a company on its own. They have to maintain their company. They have to pay their staff. We have to educate ourselves with everything that we can. Like, payment is not in monetary terms. Payment can be in knowledge as well. So
Absolutely.
that is what you are saying right now. That is the best thing. True. I totally agree with that.
Fantastic. Wow, man, I feel so lightheaded. I feel like a lot of things have been removed.
Covered up.
Yes, a lot of things have been covered up, especially the Skype thing, the US phone thing.
No problem.
Fantastic.
That is why I opted for this Skype, because I know I can talk over chat, I can talk over the email, anything, but face-to-face communication is the best communication till date.
Absolutely. I really look forward to you to meeting you someday, man. Once this thing kicks in. So
Definitely. Just go for it. You stay in Hyderabad. Maybe if I get a free time from my own businesses and everything, I will definitely visit your place.
You're
and
most
I'll contact
welcome.
you for sure.
You're most welcome. My home is your home, man.
Thank you for the appreciation.
All right, I think so. Shall we wrap up? I think we've covered quite a bit.
It's totally completed. I guess I have answered all of your basic questions right now. You might get a lot of questions in your head after this whenever you're starting with your store. So do let me know whatever question you have. I'll try to complete that as well.
Fantastic. All right, thank you so much, man. Take care and have a great weekend.
Yeah,
you,
same to
thank
you.
you.
I don't have weekends right now. We as entrepreneurs don't have weekends.
Same here, man. Just being polite,
We don't have any weekends. I am working like hell. I wake up at 6. Someday I wake up at 10 because I go to sleep at 4 a.m. in the morning. So I wake up at 10. But most of the time I prefer to wake up at 5 or 6. I work on my businesses, whatever. Even if I upload a new video on YouTube, that is a business that I consider. It's not making me any money right now, but it's going to help me a lot in the long run.
Fantastic. All right then. All right.
Best of luck. Best of luck, man.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right, everyone. Bye bye. Thanks.
Bye bye.
Arijit.
See you.
See you. Bye bye. Take care.
Bye bye.